Life can be hard. We can lose motivation. We can lose momentum. We can often feel like giving up. But I have good news. When you have a strong why and you know your why, you can turn all of this around. Welcome to Lady Boss Unplugged. This is your host, Molly Richards. Welcome to Lady Boss Unplugged. This is Molly Richards, your host. I am beyond excited to empower you to overcome life's obstacles, to form new healthy habits, to cultivate a growth mindset, as well as bring in some super cool guests who will share their own kind of magic with you. Oh, and did I mention we'll have fun too? Heck yes, we will. Join me for weekly, unfiltered, raw, real, and encouraging conversations that inspire transformative change, that give you the tools to create a positive domino effect in every aspect of your life, and just have fun hanging out. Now, let's get unplugged. Okay, so you might have heard this saying before. Have a why that makes you cry. Or when you know your why, you can figure out any how. Have you heard this before? I learned this many years ago. I was actually at a conference and one of the speakers was Simon Sinek. I forget how to pronounce his name, gosh. But he had a book that is called Start With Why. And I learned so much from him, and I use the tools he taught me so many years ago still today, which is why I wanted to do a podcast on this, because if you've heard this before or if you need a refresher, we're going to go do that today because I want you to figure out your why. Maybe it's been a long time since you have visited it, since you have thought about it and how powerful having a why is in your life. So I'm so excited about this. This is actually a quote from another book that I read many years ago, and it is that the start stops most people. It's the start that stops most people. So even taking this time, listening to this podcast and doing some of the activities that you will do with me in this podcast, I love to be a doer and actually take action on the things I'm learning. I want you to don't just start this podcast, listen to it all the way through because it will be powerful to you. I know it. I know. It's actually really, really hard for most people to finish something, to complete something. Have you been there? I mean, I have for sure. I've started many things. And because I didn't know my why, I just quit. I was like, it doesn't matter because it didn't matter because I actually didn't connect with why it mattered, what the impact could be and would be and should be and why I was doing it, what the vision I had was. So most successful people they know their why, they do so, and they are successful because they know why they're doing it, right? Do you want to be a successful person? Raise your hand. I'm raising my hand along there with you. And so whether you have goals for your business, you have professional goals, you have goals for your family life, you have personal goals, maybe weight loss goals, maybe health goals, you have entrepreneur goals. When you know your why, you will crush those goals for real. But if you don't know your why, you might just be flailing and just kind of like going along. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, what do I do now? Or why am I here? Or how did I get here? Or why am I quitting? So having a why will help you totally focus and it will help you stay on track and keep doing the things that will get you to your ultimate goal, even when challenges come up, right? Even when life gets tough, which, well, that could happen every day, right? But when you know your why, it will keep you determined. It will keep you motivated. It will keep you just on the path to get to where you want to be. And so Simon Sinek says, the author of the book, Start With Why, the speaker, he has a couple other books now. You can actually look at his videos on YouTube and all of that. He's awesome. But he says, we all have a why. He says, we all know what to do, but we don't necessarily know how, right? But if we take some time to think about our why, we are going to get to where we want to be. And the ones who are clear on their why are the ones that don't quit. Those are the ones who succeed, right? So are you willing to take a little bit of time today, a little bit of time to get to your why, to actually think about it? And I have something cool to share with you that I thought about right before I pushed record on this podcast, because I was like, oh my gosh, It does not just have to be one thing. You might be thinking to yourself right now, well, my kids are grown, so the family, why? I don't have that. Or, I'm not married, or I don't have a partner, or I don't have a business, or none of this even is important to me. Yes, it will be. If you just listen and hear me out for just a minute, having a why about most everything in your life is going to actually help you have more success in so many areas. It's actually crazy. So, one thing about your why is that it should inspire you. Your why is basically your purpose, right? And so, like, let's think this, like, what would your why be when it comes to your health and fitness goals, right? So it's like, I want to lose weight so that I can, or I want to get more muscle. I want to get more fit so that I can do this, right? And I'm going to share with you what my fitness goals were back when I had gained 65 pounds with each pregnancy. I had two children, a girl and a boy. And after I had my son Logan, I had gained the 65 pounds. And I had just like a little 8-pound baby. I was like, what? I had a ton of McDonald's back then. I did. I craved McDonald's. I craved donuts. I ate an entire dozen donuts by myself. And when I was pregnant with him, and I'm not ashamed of it, I was like, I'm doing this. I digress. But so back then I was like, okay, I need to go to the gym. I didn't really want to go to the gym because I didn't have the confidence that I have now. I felt lethargic, right? Because I was heavier than I'd ever been. I was very moody back then because I just wasn't doing things that were lighting me up and making me happy. But I was tired of feeling tired. So my why back then when I first started on my fitness journey was I will go to the gym. Not even I want to. I was like, I will join this gym and I will go to classes so that I can feel better all around, so that I can have more energy, so that I can play with my kids, so that I look sexier and feel sexier around my husband, so that I have more confidence, so that I can maybe make new friends. I had moved to a new town and I needed new friends. And that was actually one of the big things that actually happened in my life when I joined that gym. I made lifelong friends. You never know what blessings come when you step out of your comfort zone, by the way. And I knew that, I wanted to join this gym and I wanted to lose weight so that I live longer, right? That was another one. So that I can fight off disease, so that I was healthy. And so those were some of my whys. So what are some of your whys when it comes to your health and fitness? Maybe it can be your business, right? I want to do this business blank so that I can. So I want to do this for my family so that I can do this. So one thing that I read recently about the why is making money is not actually a why. Making money is a result of what we do. Isn't that interesting? I just thought that was crazy because I was always like, oh, I'll have a business so I can make money. But I've had several businesses and none of them actually came down to making money. Yes, money actually happened by the lives I impacted, but my ultimate goal for having a fitness business for many years, for teaching fitness, for being a health coach, none of it was for the money. The money came, but the money came because my why was so strong. Does this resonate with you? Like, think about your why. My why was so that I could help as many people as possible feel happy and confident and be healthy and lose weight and, just feel their absolute best and have fun doing it. Have fun with fitness. That was one of my goals. Crazy, huh? And so money is actually a result of what we do. So your why is actually going to be put in the form of a sentence that expresses both your contribution. So I do this, that's the thing you do, so that, and then it's your impact. So if you can picture like a sentence, it would be, I'm going to write that out for you in just a second, but the impact you make is the difference that you can make on the world. So like for me personally, when I was a fitness coach, the impact I made was having people want to come to the gym, and people love working out and to see fitness differently, not as torture, but as something amazing, a gift, as fun. Like the classes I used to teach, by the way, were like a party. People would be like, they wouldn't even refer to it as, I'm going to the gym. They're like, I'm going to a fun party. And it happens to be at 24-hour fitness back in the day. And I love that. I was like, yeah, it's a party. And when you come to a party, you want to go to another party and another party. You're going to want to make friends. You're going to want to all that has stuff. Bring your A game. And so we reframed fitness. We reframed how we looked at exercise, and it was awesome. So you ready to get clear on your why? Maybe you haven't done this in a while. Maybe you've never done this before, but don't be scared. It's amazing. So let me ask you a question. Ask yourself this: what do I want to contribute to the world? And what impact will that contribution be? So when I do this thing, what is this thing I want to do? And when I do this thing, what will my contribution be? So an example, I wrote mine out for you. So help women be more confident, empowered, excited, and energized so that they live a life where they feel motivated, alive, inspired, fulfilled, and joyful. So yours, I want you to write this down or put this in your notes. You want to say, if we're going to figure out your why, it's going to say this: I want to blank. I want to do this. What is your contribution? What is that action you're going to take? Or that you want in your life? What is that thing you want in your life? What is that change you want in your life? I want to blank so that, and that next line is your impact. I want to blank so that. So like I said, maybe it was getting more fit, right? I want to get fit. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to be my healthiest. I want to get healthier so that I can play with my kids, so that I don't get tired playing with my kids, so that I can be alive for my grandchildren, so that I can look super hot at that school reunion, whatever it is. These don't have to be giant, crazy whys where you're like, that's it. No. As I was preparing for this podcast, I thought, oh my gosh, we could have so many whys. And I'm going to go over that in just a minute. And I was like, yes, now that is exciting. So when we have a why and we know what motivates us, when we know what drives us, I have good news. It can actually improve and change your life. Okay. Just by this simple action, by knowing your why. And when you know your why, you're going to be able to focus more. You're going to know where to put your time and energy. You're going to stop making excuses. We all make excuses, okay? Because sometimes going after what we want in life is uncomfortable, or we might fail a little bit. Who cares? Keep going. Like I said, it's the start that stops most people. It's when we fail a little bit that we say, I'm good. It's like, yeah, lean into that pain, lean into that discomfort. That's where change happens. You've probably heard that before. I did not invent that saying, but I go by that saying all the time. I'm like, lean in, lean in. And so all of this, when you know your priorities and all of that, like, you're just going to be able to lean into your why so much more. When you know your why, you will push forward. When you know your why, you're going to get past challenges. So if something sucks, I hate that word, but I say it sometimes, when something is not the way you planned it, when something is a little more challenging, when something, takes you off track for a minute, when there's an obstacle that comes up, when you know why you're doing it, for what, like there is a goal at the end of the road, you don't quit. Don't be a quitter. Most people are quitters, not you. Don't be most people. If there's something you want in your life, if you want a different life, if you want a better life, if you want a better you have to stop quitting. Even for me, I'm like, I can't be a quitter. I can't be a quitter, but I know my why, right? And my why has changed over the years. So my why used to be like to play with my kids. Now my kids are 23 and 28. That'd be weird. One of my whys, of course, is to be close in distance to my kids so that when they want to play, when they want to hang out, I can get to them. They can get to me. And so I'm going to make these decisions in my life. Kevin and I are going to make these decisions in our life so that we live a life where we are close to them. Does that make sense? But when you know your why, you can literally handle any how. When people say like, great, but how are you going to do that? You're like, well, I know my why. And so that's going to drive me all the time, right? So I thought about this. When I'm going to tell you the truth here, like, this is wild. I just thought of this before I pushed record as I was walking around my house. And it was when I first learned about, if you start with your why, that anything's possible. I learned all this from Simon Sinek years ago, read his book and all of that. I thought of it as this one big boom, this one big why, like this big balloon, this big thing. Like if I just accomplished this thing, if I knew that why, then everything else, domino effect, like all this. Like I really thought it was like this huge pie in the sky, this one why. But then as I was walking around my house, I was like, that's weird. Because over the years, I've had so many whys, and I have so many whys today that I stay focused on who I want to be in the future. I focus on who I am today. I focus on what I'm bringing to the people around me, to my life, to my business, to my marriage, to everything. And so I'm just going to write down I'm going to read off things I randomly wrote down right before I hit record here to hang out with you, because I want you to know like what I mean by this, because it might resonate with you where you're like, I don't know what my big why is, Molly. Like, I don't know right now. My life is, I'm in the middle of different things. I'm in the middle of seasons, or I'm in a really tough season right now. And I don't even have the capacity to think about that. I get that. I've been there. I get you. But I want you to think about it this way if possible. So remember, we say, like, this is my why. Like, I do this so I can do this. I wrote a bunch of them out. Don't, if you think they're silly, that's okay. It's my why, not yours, right? And so you're going to make your own list. I always give homework when I do, most of the time in my podcast, I give a little to do, I give a little homework. So I want you to do this as well. So it's like, I work out basically every day. I do about 5 days to 6 days a week, either at the gym or walking, like, a 10K, I call it, like on a weekend or something. And then I take off on Sunday, but I also do like stretching. So basically I work out every day so that so I'm fit. So I feel good. So I have energy. So I'm not moody. Y'all, when my kids were younger, I might have shared this before with you, but when my kids were younger and I would be short with them and I would be grumpy Molly, or I would be just like, they're like, do you run? Do you need to go do a kickboxing class? Do you need to go work out? They knew that I showed up as a happier mom, as a happier person, as a more patient person, as a kinder version of me if I moved my body every day. So I know that every day I work out so that I show up as the best version of me. That's as simple as that is for me. I make sure we go on weekly date nights so that mine and Kevin's relationship stays spicy, stays fun, and so we stay connected. See, I have whys for all different things. It's not a huge why. These are like little important things in my life, right? I make my bed each morning. So that's a why. So that I feel calm. I feel organized. I feel like if someone comes over, that I'm ready for them. Someone once said to me, they're like, have your home so that if Jesus walked in, it was tidy and you're ready for him to come over and hang out with you. I was like, I make my bed in case Jesus comes over to visit? Like, no, but that made me laugh when someone said that to me. But I make my bed each day so that I really feel calm and organized. I read and learn new things so that I stay plugged in, so that my brain stays active, so that I am in the know, so that I can stay creative, so that I can spark conversation with people about a cool book that I just read or an article or something like that. Get dressed in real clothes every day so that I feel more motivated, so that I feel cute. I look back on like 2020, 2021, and I think of all the sweats I wore and the days that I didn't do my hair. And guess what? I know that like we were still at home and all of that, but I just didn't feel cute. I didn't feel energized. I felt actually lethargic and depressed. And so I get dressed every day so that I get in a better mindset. That's my why for getting dressed every day. What about you? I go to bed earlier than 10 p.m. every night. I go to bed about 10 p.m. every night so that I can wake up early and have a miracle morning. I wake up early every day so that I can own my day and not let my day own me, so that I can be super productive and I can actually have time to do all the things I want to do in each day. I didn't even say I eat, I choose to eat whole foods over fast food every day so that I honor my body, so that I don't feel like crap, so that I just, have a healthier body than than I've had before. Include a lot of protein in each day. over where I used to not have enough protein so that I have more energy, so that I have a good blood sugar balance, so that I have increased muscle because I know it's good for me and I normally don't get enough. So I just want to share that with you because you can have a why for like everything in your life. And when, like I said, when you have a why, you could figure out any how. When you have a why, you know that you're in charge. You feel more motivated. You're not just going through the motions of life. I feel like having a why empowers us and it helps us know that we are in control and that we can literally accomplish any goal that we set our mind to. We can accomplish any goal that we set our why to, that we set our focus to, our priorities to, so that we know what our contribution is in the world. Isn't that powerful? I just feel like it's so powerful. And I find it kind of funny that when I was preparing this episode about having a why, I had no idea that I would actually have this huge moment of if we actually knew our why for all the things we did in life, we would show up differently. We would probably show up more committed than ever. And because we're more committed, we're not going to quit and we're going to reach the goals we set for ourselves. So I would love for you to sit down and think about your why and all the different aspects in your life that are important to you. And then I want to encourage you to go make it happen, to literally not ignore that why, but let it drive you and stay focused on it and then renew your why. Like think about different whys as life comes along. So I hope this has encouraged you today. You know, our goal with this podcast is to empower you and to keep you focused and driven and excited so that you are your healthiest self, your happiest self, and your most successful self. So thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you so much. And be sure to share this episode. Be sure to follow the show, subscribe to the show, and give us a review. Share this with friends and keep coming back because there are so many good podcasts to come and some really cool guests coming. Okay. So see you soon. You're amazing. What is your why? What are your whys? Remember, when you have a why, you could figure out any how. All right. See you later.